Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. The Chennai Super Kings have beaten the Gujarat Titans by 63 runs and registered their second win of the season. On the 11s of both sides, starting off with the Chennai Super Kings. Since Matisha Paterna was available for selection, they started out with three overseas players and they left out Mahesh Dikshana, meaning they were preparing to include both Mustafizur Rahman and Matisha Paterna in the 11 when it came to the bowling innings. And I was surprised they didn't play someone like a Moeen Ali, where the spinners for this game were only Jadeja and Rachin who didn't bowl, but that's how they went with their 11. And for the Gujarat Titans, they went with the same combination, and I was very surprised they didn't bring in Noor Ahmed in place of Spencer Johnson. Spencer Johnson in his debut game went for a few runs, and I thought on this type of a surface they would look to play Noor Ahmed when they backed him in the previous season. Playing Rashid Khan, Sai Kishore and Noor Ahmed would have given some great spin strength. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. And Shubman Gill won the toss and first said he would be batting first, then changed it to bowling. In my view, he'd made the correct decision and then switched over to the wrong one. And I don't know what the thought process was behind choosing to bowl first when you've got the CSK side, the strength they put at home. And looking at this Gujarat Titans batting lineup as well, which I'll get onto when it comes to their batting innings, where would batting first and setting a total be their strength, or would chasing a decent score be their strength on this type of a surface? You think the former option would be so? I thought it was a poor choice from Shubman Gill to win the toss and choose to bowl first, and I was very surprised they didn't play Noor Ahmed. The CSK openers walked out to bat, and I thought the first over bowled by Azmatullah Omarzai was very good, and unfortunately the only good over on the power play from a bowling perspective. One of the deliveries drew the outside edge of Rutraj Gaikwad's bat. Unfortunately, Sai Kishore put down a sitter in the slips. Since then, Rachin took the attack to the Gujarat Titans opening bowlers, and I thought both Omarzai and Umesh Yadav were quite tardy in their lines and lengths. Rachin played some very good shots, and it continued on from where he left off in the previous game, where we saw an attacking cameo against RCB as well. But I thought he was allowed to go out to that start, not taking any credit away from him. But in the power play after the first over, the bowling was quite poor from the Gujarat Titans opening bowlers. An unfortunate dismissal where I think of the bowling of Rashid Khan. The ball hit his pad, it went behind him and he didn't know where it went, and a good piece of glove work from Diman Saha to dismiss Rachin for 46 off 20, and it given a great start for CSK. At this venue, I'd said if you're 50 odd for 2 out of 6 overs, you've won that particular power play phase, and there was 60 odd for 1, which is a very good start provided by Rachin. And from here, I don't know why they sent out Rahane at 3, where I'd said even in my previous videos that on this type of a surface, him batting out of position, according to me, it would not be a great thing considering how he goes against spin. You go to Raj Gaikwad, usually starts off slowly and then kicks on. And it's a case where he played Rashid Khan well, I thought, who, since his injury, you've seen in 2 games now, he does not seem to be the same. I'm sure he'll work his way back into his best bowling form as the tournament goes on, but we saw that he wasn't the same in these first 2 games as far as his bowling. Gaikwad played some nice shots to the offside of Rashid Khan, but with the way Rahane went against the spinners, he scored a total of 12 and then was dismissed by Sai Kishore. Now, what I would have done is I would have sent out Shivam Dube at 3, where you saw the moment he walked out to bat, he had 2 sixes in the first 2 deliveries that he faced. Potentially Darren Mitchell, even though in this game, and especially since he walked out at 5 in this case, he did struggle a bit. Or Samir Rizvi could have gone out there. Rather than sending Rahane out at number 3, out of position, when is he going to continue the momentum offered from the start they got? No, he won't. So I thought it wasn't a great thing that was done by the management to send him out at number 3. We've seen them do that in the past, but I thought there should have been a change made in this case. When Rahane was dismissed, the score was on 104 for 2 in 10.1, meaning CSK had a massive advantage at this point in time, considering the hitters to come as well. Having said that, there could have been a notion that they could have got more in my view. I thought in the latter 10 overs, the surface becomes slower. Since the ball gets softer, it becomes more difficult to bat. And that's why, in my view, the magic number from the start was 185, considering the batting line of the Gujarat Titans as well. I thought if they posted 185 on the board as a minimum, then I think they'd almost have this game in the bag. And they went on to post a few more runs than that, meaning that whatever they got above that score, I thought was a bonus. Dube, he should have been sent at 3. He walked out at 4 and played an expectedly fantastic knock of 51 off 23. I thought he'd be someone who would take on the spinners as well. We saw that happen when Saikishore was bowling, especially early on. And Spencer Johnson was bowling a couple of short deliveries to him as well, and you saw that was a ploy that was used in the previous game against him, though I thought they'd overdone it in the first case. He was up to task to those deliveries as well and scored a destructive half century, so very well done to him. Daryl Mitchell, 24 off 20 in this game, 22 off 18 in the previous game. It's a case where if you're going to bat him at number 5 when he walks out in the latter 10 overs, is it fair to expect that kind of a quick fire contribution to him? I don't think so. So you could do one of two things. One, play him at number 3 or 4. In this case, sending Rahane out earlier meant the others had to go as a slot back. And secondly, I feel from in the future games playing this venue, do they need Darren Mitchell to win the game? No, they don't. I feel you could play Moeen where he won't try and even if he has to bat at 5, I think he'd have the game where he can still get some decent amount of runs at that position. Where Darren Mitchell, you saw at times he tried to swing at everything, and that wasn't the way to go when the ball got softer in the latter half of the innings. And Samir Rizvi, I was quite happy that they sent him out rather than Jadeja when I think the 4th wicket fell. He's got a reputation to be good against pace and spin. He can float up and down the order. And I saw Jadeja being padded up, so I thought since he's a slow starter against spin, Rashid Khan is bowling, how would they go in terms of sending him out? They sent out Samir Rizvi, and it's 2 6s in his 5 balls. There were 6 balls that he faced, including the first one that he faced. So I was very happy to see him being sent out, and he played a handy cameo as well. 206 for 6 was 20 runs above par, and I thought CSK had a great score, more than great score going into the game. On the Gujarat Titans bowling card, Azmatullah Omarzai and Umesh Yadav, as I said, between them only one over was bowled with some kind of a good output. The first over of the innings bowled by Omarzai. Apart from that, none for 30 and 10 for him, and none for 27 and 2. Both of them were erratic with their lines and lengths and paid the price. Rashid Khan, I had said previously in this video, in the first 2 games that we've seen thus far, he's not been the same bowler after his return from injury. And I'm sure he'll work his way into things as the tournament progresses. But in terms of what he did today, is about 2 for 49 in 4 overs. Sai Kishore, 1 for 28 and 3, where the only 2 boundaries he went for were the 2 consecutive 6s hit by Shivam Dube in the first 2 balls he faced. Apart from that, he wasn't very too bad, but he only bowled 3 overs because of the 2 6s that Dube hit. Spencer Johnson bowled okay in parts in the middle, but the inexperience did show. I'm very surprised they didn't go with Noor Ahmed, where no matter how good of a player of spin you are, if you're facing Rashid Khan, Sai Kishore and Noor Ahmed on a turning track, it would pose a challenge to any player, so I didn't understand that. Mohit Sharma bowled better than what the figures suggested. He tried the slow deliveries, unfortunately. Even he went at 9 over. So it wasn't a great day for the Titans bowlers. And I honestly don't understand some of the tactical calls here, where especially one, not playing Noor Ahmed, and secondly, I'll say this again, he'd said he was going to bat first, Shubman Gill, and then changed it to bowling. If you're looking at even, I think, the one of the qualifier games last year in the playoffs, if CSK score 185 on the surface, they got 20 odd runs, more than that, would you have much of a chance in chasing this down, especially since you saw what happened? They were bowled out for 150, the Gujarat Titans, the last time in the qualifier. So I really didn't get the logic behind Shubman Gill choosing to bowl first. On the second innings, this is a player who they've backed since he played for them the previous season when Kane Williamson had that injury, and that made way for him to get an opportunity. However, in this game, Sai Sudarshan should not have batted. When you're chasing above 200 at this venue, looking at the Gujarat Titans batting lineup and the favourable innings progression when batting at this venue, I'll be suggesting a lineup now. Vidman Saha, Shubman Gill, Azmatullah Omarzai number 3, David Miller 4, Abhinav Manor being brought in as an impact sub and playing things by situation from there. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you concede above 200 runs at this venue, looking at this batting lineup as well, You'd need at least 70 in the power play to have a remote chance. You've got Saha and Shubman Gill. Wriddhiman Saha would seem like he's going at a good rate. Then he'll score about 19 or 15. Shubman Gill can go aggressively in the power play, but then you even saw the previous time these two teams played this ground, he slowed down. Therefore, you cannot have Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan playing in the same team when chasing a 200 score at this venue. Even Wriddhiman Saha, as I'd said, he'd score 19 or 15, even though it may seem like he's going aggressively. So with that top three chasing 200, and are you going to get 17 in the power play? No, you won't. Which is why Azmatullah Omarzai, in this format, he likes to take on the bowling. You've not really got a spin threat either, because you've got only the one spinner in Jadeja. They're not bowling Rachin Ravinda. He should have walked out at 3 and tried to take on the bowling. Instead, Sai Sudarshan is the impact sub. Then and there, the chase is done. Vijay Shankar at 4. Are you kidding me? When you've got the top 3 that I mentioned, you're bringing someone else who takes a bit of time on this type of a surface. And David Miller as well in the last ball, the first 10 balls, he only scores about 12 or so runs and then looks to switch gears. So you got that kind of a top 5. By the time Azmatullah Omarzai walks out to bat, the ball's gone softer. Are things going to go well for him at that stage? No, they're not. Rahul Tewatia also on this type of surface, would he go well? No. Rashid Khan by that time was too late. So the structuring of the lineup was terrible. I was intrigued to see what they'd do. I thought they'd realize, or they could realize, that playing Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan in the same lineup in this case would not be the correct option, but unfortunately they still played Sai Sudarshan. So tactically it was a very poor game from the Gujarat Titans. However, from a CSK perspective, it was a near perfect game. If only Shivam Dube had been sent out at 3, it would have been even better. However, it's a case where if you're looking at the bowling innings, the bowlers who went for runs in the previous game, Deepak Chahar 2 for 28 and 4 in this one. Tushar Deshpande bounced back very nicely, 2 for 21 in this 4. And Jadeja only had to bowl 2 overs because the Gujarat Titans played into the Super Kings' hands. Mustafizur Rahman, another good performance, 2 for 30 in his 4. And in one of the overs where Darryl Mitchell bowled, he made his CSK bowling debut. MS Dhoni diving to his right. It was a wicket of Vijay Shankar taking a fantastic catch. As I've said, in terms of the role that is there for him in the side that is batting down till 10. And if he's keeping well, I don't feel there's any imminent need for him to retire. There's a mega auction next year though, so we'll have to see how that goes. I think this will be his last season. But it was great to see him take that catch. And I think his keeping isn't very good in these first 2 games. When I think he was padded up, we were waiting to bat to go out at number 8, but the wicket only fell on the last ball of the innings. So seeing him keep, I think, has been very good thus far. And Maticha Paitiana, it was a quick spell. Most of the deliveries were 150, 1 for 29 in his 4, and it was a great season debut for him. So a near perfect game for the Chennai Super Kings. Or the Gujarat Titans, a bit to think about. And you've got a couple of players where I'd even said from their mini auction, apart from Azmatullah Omarzai, who is going to make an impact in terms of being able to play. You've got Shah Rukh Khan waiting in the wings, 7.4 crores. Avina Maron, both of those aren't being used. What was the point of paying 7.4 crores for Shah Rukh Khan? You've got Manav Sutar when you've got Jayant Yadav, Sai Kishore have played for India. Is he going to get an opportunity? No, he won't. Spencer Johnson for 10 crores when, in my view, is he even 80% of Josh Little at this point in time? No disrespect, he's not. So you spent 6 more crores for Spencer Johnson than you did for Josh Little. Even that doesn't make sense. So you've got quite a few players who, if they do play, they're not as experienced. Secondly, some play like Shah Rukh Khan, you don't know how he's going to be able to play. So Gujarat have got some thinking to do for CSK, 2 very good wins. And I thought Ruturaj Gaikwad as captain once again had a good day today. So overall, a very good win for CSK. Let's see how things go in the future. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?